Feeling lost is one of the most disorienting experiences a person can go through. Not because anything has necessarily gone wrong on the outside. Your life might look perfectly fine to everyone around you. You might have a job, you might have a home, your relationships, your routines. But on the inside, something feels fundamentally disconnected, like you are living through the motions of a life that doesn't quite feel like yours. If that is where you are right now, this video is exactly where you need to be. You see, before we talk about how to fix this problem, we need to understand what feeling lost actually is. Because feeling lost is not what most people think it is. You see, most people treat it as a motivation problem. And they say to themselves, oh, I just need to get inspired again. And some people treat it as a knowledge problem. And they say, oh, I just need the right advice or the right strategy. And some treat it as a circumstance problem. If I could just change my job, if I could change my city, if I could change my relationship, I would feel better. And so they chase motivation, they consume content, they make external changes. And for a while, sometimes it works. The feeling leaves. And then it comes back. Why? Because they have been addressing the symptoms and not the cause. You see, feeling lost, I mean genuinely, persistently lost, is almost always a signal of one of four things. And I want to walk you through all four of them, because identifying which one applies to you is the first step to actually resolving it. Now let's look at the four causes. Cause number one, there is what I call the identity disconnection. You see, this is the most common one, and it's exactly what we have been talking about in this series. You feel lost because there is a gap between who you truly are, your values, your convictions, your sense of calling, and the life that you are actually living. You see, the inner self and the outer life are out of alignment, and that misalignment produces a persistent, low-grade sense of wrongness that no external change can fix. I say it again, no external change can fix that. Okay, let's look at cause number two, the unprocessed transition. You see, the major life transitions like career change, the end of a relationship, or a bereavement, or children leaving home, a health crisis, often leave people feeling afloat or unmoored. You see, the identity you had before the transition was partly built around those circumstances that no longer exist. And the new identity, the one that fits who you are becoming now, hasn't been built yet. So the gap between the two is what feels like being lost. Number three, living by borrowed ideas. You see, some people feel lost not because they don't know who they are, but because who they have been performing has never been them. They have been living by maybe their parents' definition of success, or their culture's expectation, or even their peers' standards. And deep down, something in them knows that none of it truly fits. You see, the lostness they feel is the authentic self, just pushing back against a life that was never truly chosen. Okay, and number four, cause number four, purpose without foundation. They have set goals, they are pursuing achievements, they might even be succeeding by external measure, but there is no foundation beneath it. No deep sense of identity, no clarity of values, no genuine conviction driving the pursuit. And success without foundation always feels hollow. You see, the achievement arrives, and instead of fulfillment, there is, just more lostness. There is this more emptiness, more searching. So, which of these resonates most with where you are right now? I would encourage you to sit with that honestly. Okay, now I want to talk to you about why standard advice doesn't work. You see, here is why the standard advice like follow your passion, set bigger goals, just keep going often fails because people feel genuinely lost. Because the advice they receive most of the time is designated for people who know who they are and they just need direction. So it is a navigation advice, and navigation advice is only useful for people who know who they are. So if you don't know where you are, and if your identity is unclear or disconnected, then giving you a map and a destination doesn't help. You need something more fundamental. You need to establish your location first. And this is why the Flourish framework starts with identity, not with purpose, not goals, not strategy, but it starts with identity. Because identity, once it is clear, once you know where you are, navigation becomes possible, direction becomes possible, even purpose becomes possible. Okay, let me give you 3 concrete steps to start gaining clarity. Step number 1, name the disconnection. Get honest about which one of these 4 causes resonates most with your experience and write it down. Don't just think about it, write it. You see, there is something about the act of writing that moves an insight from your head into reality. So, name what is actually happening. For example, I am living by borrowed values, or I am in an unprocessed transition, or I have been performing an identity that was never mine. Whatever it is, just name it. Step number 2, create space for your own voice. This sounds deceptively simple, but it is genuinely difficult in the world we live in. For 1 week, just 1 week, intentionally reduce the noise. Less social media, less background TV, less consuming other people's content about how to live. And replace that even with 20 minutes of that with silence or journaling or working without headphones. You see, you cannot hear your own voice when everyone else's voice is constantly louder. Step number 3, make one identity aligned decision. You don't need to overhaul your entire life. You don't need that. You just need to make one decision today, this week. A decision that is genuinely aligned with your values and your sense of who you are becoming, rather than who people expect you to be. One honest decision, one act of choosing yourself, because clarity doesn't come from thinking alone. It comes from action that is true to who you are. Okay, let's move in to look at what clarity feels like. I want to say something about this clarity, what it feels like, because I think many people are waiting for a dramatic revelation that might never come. You see, clarity rarely arrives all at once. It rarely feels like a lightning bolt or a sudden blinding moment of knowing. Not at all. More often, clarity feels like a gradual settling, a quieting of the noise, a growing sense of, of not certainty necessarily, but rightness. A sense that the direction you are moving in fits who you are, that the choices that you are making are truly yours, that the life you are building belongs to you. That is what you are working toward. Not a perfect answer, not a complete certainty, just alignment between who you are and how you are living. And it is absolutely possible for you. I say it again. It is absolutely possible for you. So here is the truth I want you to live with. Feeling lost is not a life sentence. It is a signal. And signals, when you pay attention to signals rather than suppressing them, they lead you to somewhere. They lead you inward to the foundation work of identity. So, to the deep questions about who you are and who you are becoming. And that inward journey, my friend, as uncomfortable as it is sometimes, is the most important journey you will ever take. So if this has blessed you, or subscribe to this channel and hit the like button so you don't miss the next video in this series. Actually, where we go deep into character. I tell you something, you see, character is often overlooked foundation that separates people who flourish and people who simply achieve. Now I want to ask you to watch other videos in this series coming up on the screen right now. The link is on the screen and I will see you there.